The following contains spoilers for Star Wars Rebels, Ahsoka, and all three Thrawn book trilogies. Hello everyone, happy Star Wars Day. May the 4th be with you. I hope you're enjoying your day and consuming as much Star Wars as possible. Whether that be enjoying the re-release of The Phantom Menace, watching the new Tales of the Empire, or revisiting the Skywalker saga. I wanted to take a moment today to explore one of my favorite Star Wars villains, Grand Admiral Thrawn. Introduced in 1991's Heir to the Empire, Thrawn arrived as the mysterious and titular Heir to the Empire after Palpatine's fall and Return of the Jedi. While only existing in novelizations, Thrawn quickly made a name for himself as a master battle strategist, managing to best the original trilogy heroes in every encounter with him. For years, the original Timothy Zahn trilogy was regarded as the best of the post-original trilogy media. However, in 2014, Lucasfilm announced that all supplementary material except the Clone Wars animated series would be removed from canon. This, of course, removed Thrawn from the new Star Wars timeline. It wouldn't be until 2016 when Thrawn would re-enter Star Wars canon in the 3rd season of the animated series, Star Wars Rebels. Thrawn once again led the Empire's charge against our heroes, this time targeting the Ghost crew and the early stages of the rebellion. Over the last few years, Thrawn has appeared in various Star Wars media to make the rebellion's life more difficult and stake his claim as the best Star Wars villain. What makes him the best villain, you might ask? It's easy. Because he always wins. Not necessarily in the way you or I might think of victory, but in his own unique ways. By using masterful strategy, knowledge, intimidation, and his vast amount of allies, Thrawn has become a formidable foe in the Star Wars timeline. Now, I know the calm and calculating villain can be boring. Many people would prefer the type of villain that could physically go toe-to-toe with our heroes, like Darth Vader to Luke Skywalker. However, where Thrawn becomes most formidable is when he uses his ability to create a perfect plan of attack. Thrawn is always one step ahead of our heroes. For example, let's take a look at a moment from the 14th episode of Season 3 of Rebels. Here, Thrawn dispatches infiltrator droids across dozens of star systems to locate the rebels. After some shenanigans, Zeb manages to send the droid back with an explosive that destroys the entire fleet of infiltrator droids. While many people, and even Thrawn's own Imperial allies, would consider this a failure, Thrawn acknowledges this is the plan all along. In destroying his droids, Thrawn has now narrowed down the number of potential planets from over 1,000 to just the 94 that he sent them. In fact, throughout this whole season, Thrawn uses this star map to slowly narrow down where the rebels are hiding through what appears to be defeats, but are truly victories for him. For example, later in the season, the rebels appear to have won over him again, deleting their base from his map. However, Thrawn always has a backup strategy and reveals he made a copy of the map. And by aligning the two copies together, clearly the rebels are hiding in the deleted sector. It takes an incredible amount of planning and foresight to anticipate his enemy's movements and counter them with his own. This is of course just one example of Thrawn's usual plan within a plan. Thrawn's consistent ability to outsmart his enemies is also aided by his advanced research of the galaxy. Thrawn shows a certain respect for his enemies where the other members of the Empire do not. In order to find the best path to victory, Thrawn researches his enemies' art, culture, and battle strategy. For example, during Ahsoka Season 1, Thrawn's first precaution when he learns of Ahsoka's involvement in his plans is to research who her Jedi Master was. We know from the new Thrawn trilogy that Thrawn and Anakin have worked closely together in the past, leading to this reaction from Thrawn when he realizes who he's dealing with. While most of the Empire is set on ruling or destroying the rest of the galaxy, Thrawn chooses to research it. There are countless examples of Thrawn's research throughout Star Wars Rebels. One of my favorite moments is from Season 3, Episode 5, Hera's Heroes. In this episode, we see Hera revisit her Imperial-occupied childhood home, looking to collect a family heirloom. During their infiltration, Hera is caught by Thrawn and attempts to pose as a servant, trying to steal the artifact for money. While this trick works on his mindless companion, Thrawn recognizes the artifact, knowing that culturally it holds no value to anyone but the family who owns it. It's because of Thrawn's research here that allows him to see through Hera's disguise and capture her, where it would have fooled his other Imperial officers. With this research also comes knowledge over the Force that his compatriots do not share. After the fall of the Jedi in Revenge of the Sith, the Empire worked very hard to kill the Tales of the Jedi and their practices. Many even question if the Force is real by the time of the original trilogy. However, Thrawn acknowledges the Force's existence, disregards it, and overcomes any fears of it. One part of Thrawn's plans from the original Timothy Zahn trilogy includes him preparing to face a Jedi by collecting the alien lizard known as Ysalamiri. This creature has the unique ability to nullify the Force within a certain radius of itself. Thrawn uses this to his advantage, creating a harness that would allow himself to operate with these creatures attached to him, nullifying any Jedi or Sith's ability to use the Force within his vicinity. While this is no longer canon, it is still an impressive strategy, and one that I personally hope to see show back up somewhere in canon. One canon example of Thrawn's interaction with the Force is through his fight with the Bendu in the Season 3 finale of Rebels. During his attack on Chopper Base, Thrawn has the Rebels cornered and nears victory. However, Thrawn and his forces are halted by a mysterious storm, caused by a Force-wielding being known as the Bendu. While he is caught off guard by this at first, he quickly recomposes himself, identifies the Bendu's weak point, and directs his forces at it. When he moves in for the killing blow, he even gives Bendu the respect of listening to his ramblings of the future before attempting to finish him off. While many other Imperial officers would have been driven off by the Force storm and the Bendu's abilities, Thrawn continued to push on, believing his strategy and sheer firepower would overcome the living Force. Finally, one of the other reasons Thrawn is so consistent in his victories is that he cultivates a powerful group of allies. One man cannot stand alone against an entire rebellion, but a man with an army behind him poses a serious threat. This is once again another good example of how the Empire only seeks to destroy while Thrawn collects and learns. He finds his allies in the most unlikely of places, most often those destroyed by the Empire. In the Heir to the Empire trilogy, Thrawn uses the likes of Mara Jade and Jorah C'baoth, two Dark Force wielders who can put up a formidable fight up against Luke Skywalker, where Thrawn could not. In both Legends and New Canon, Thrawn has enlisted the help of Rook, a Nagori fighter who has become Thrawn's loyal bodyguard. Throughout Rebels, Rook is sent on missions that Thrawn could not conduct himself, such as assassinations and infiltrations. More recently in the Ahsoka series, we see that Thrawn has come into good graces with Dathomirian witches, who have promised him a power we have yet to see. One of these witches in his company is Morgan Elsbeth, a trained warrior and sorceress who was essential in Thrawn's return after Return of the Jedi. Without her, Thrawn may very likely have never made it off Peridea. Speaking of Peridea, Thrawn has also shown that he commands loyalty from his troops, seeing that all the Imperials on his exiled Star Destroyer have remained loyal, and even ornamented themselves with some of his treasures or markings. It's clear that while Thrawn still preaches, "Long live the Empire," his allies are most likely loyal to him alone. And that, my friends, is why I think Thrawn always works as a villain, and usually always wins in some way. While he may not be a physically imposing threat, his strategy, research, and allies make him a powerful foe for our heroes of the galaxy. Personally, I can't wait to see his story continue in Ahsoka Season 2, Tales of the Empire, and wherever else he shows up next. Let me know what you think of Thrawn and his forces down in the comments below, or let me know who's your favorite Star Wars villain. As always, thank you for watching, and may the Force be with you.